Today I'm going to install a 9.1 gigabyte SCSI hard drive into this Mac SE30. How long could it take to initialize and format that? Let's find out. Oh, it's done. How long has it been? What day is it? Like, I don't even have coffee anymore. I'm going to go freshen up. I'll be right back. Thanks for watching. If you like seeing these old machines being brought back to life, please consider subscribing. It'll do a lot for the channel. To get back on track, I was able to get the drive initialized, formatted into three 2 gig partitions each, and a little bit left over. Got everything working. Had a little bit of trouble. I had to try multiple drives. Finally got a drive that was working here. It's a 9.1 gigabyte hard drive. Like I said, it's got several partitions now. I initially partitioned it at exactly 2 gig each, and it wouldn't install. I kept getting errors. I figured I would do a little under 2 gig, and then everything just worked. So it's like 1.9 gig partitions each, so now it's actually able to get the install going. Now, the other problem I have now is I do have this computer right here, my G3. I'm able to make floppy disks as I get the install going. However, I'm getting low on floppies that are reliable and useful for this. So what I'm going to do instead is I have this external 6 gig hard drive, and I have all the files I need on here to get the install going, and I'll walk you through that. All right, I hope the sound of the drive isn't too distracting. I stashed it all the way over here so the mic doesn't pick it up. It's not the drive that's making the noise, it's the fan inside the drive that's making all the noise. I'll fix that eventually, but for now, this will get us by. So I have my patched disk tools diskette here, and I'm gonna go ahead and install that, or insert that, and get the computer turned on. Now, as this boots up, this is the original drive that shipped in this Mac. It's a 40 megabyte SCSI hard drive, 50 pin. It's surprisingly still working. It's not very loud. I'm definitely holding on to this for future use. I might put it in my other Mac SE, and you know, it's useful to have something like this. So I am definitely going to take care of this, not to drop it or let my kids pick it up. They're the ender of all things electronics. All right, so I got everything loaded up here. I'm going to use my little zip tie as a pointer here. So we've got disk tools, the Macintosh hard drive, that's where we'll be doing the install. Spare data 1, 2, and 3 are the main 1.9 gig partitions, and then the leftover I just called leftover bits. And the Lacy drive I have separated into 4 partitions. The first 3 being 1.9 terabyte, and then the 4th one just being whatever's left. I just wanted to keep it simple. It's great because it'll read fine on this. It'll read fine on this. It's the closest thing to a thumb drive I have for this thing because I don't have a blue SCSI. I don't have anything against blue SCSI. It's just that I have everything I need to get this working without purchasing new hardware. I'll eventually get into that. Eventually all these drives will die. Considering this one is a little younger than me, it's still ticking. So for all I know, the drives in here might last until I'm in my 80s. Who knows? You know, fingers crossed. So let's go ahead and go to the Lacy OneDrive. And I basically just copied the entire download directory off of this computer here. If I scroll up here, I've got a directory called 7.5.3. Now in here, there's a directory called System 7.5.3. Scroll down, and then there's System 7.5.3 net install. It's basically a CD image that you can install from. It's only like 22 meg. Now I'll go ahead and click on that, and it'll open up the installer. And instead of inserting 16 individual disks or whatever the number is, it's one clean install. It's much quicker because it's coming off the SCSI drive itself. And yeah, it's just so much easier than imaging a box full of these things, and just much less headache. Now, it is going to verify the checksum. I'm going to go ahead and skip that because it's not really important. It's either going to work or it doesn't. Now that that has been mounted, I'm going to go ahead and close the directory here, clear up the screen. And it is now a disk image on the desktop. So double click on that and it opens up the disk. It's taking up 40 meg now that it's been uncompressed. Go ahead and double click on the installer and it'll take you from here. Once the System 7.5 installer screen pops up, it takes about 20-30 seconds for it to initialize. Then you just click continue. And you want to make sure you've got the correct destination disk chosen. So this does say Macintosh HD for hard drive. And I'm going to go ahead and hit install. Now it does have the option for easy install, custom install. Custom install is going to give you all the different options for other systems that you really don't need. Easy install pretty much covers it all. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to easy install. If there's anything I miss, I can always add it later. And we'll go through the install. All right, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so you see the install as it goes. Okay, that's all done. That wasn't too terrible. Based on the camera, that took under 20 minutes to do everything. So I'm going to go ahead and hit quit, reboot the machine, and we will be loading up to our desktop for the first time. Now, as it boots up, it's going to build the desktop for the first time. That takes 30 seconds to a minute, so we'll go ahead and jump right past that. Okay, now that we got that on, I have one more disk to add. I'm going to go ahead and use one of these spare data drives since I have so much space. Going to make a new directory here. Call it games. And add our first game. Tetris. All right, now that I got Tetris installed, I'm going to go ahead and open the directory. Now, one of the things I noticed during this whole upgrade was that there's no audio, there's no chime, there's no sound, and that is something that there was before. So that tells me that the capacitors on the logic board are on their way out. I'm going to go ahead and get those removed, cleaned up before there's hopefully no additional corrosion. Close look at the board, it does still look clean. I did check on that. So let's go ahead and start some Tetris. Give it a quick play. Now, it is not the easiest thing to play this from the side, because to me, everything is off just a smidge. Alright, so it's very playable. The system itself is running great, aside from the sound issue, which I know exactly what that is, and I feared. I knew I was going to have to replace the caps eventually. Just when you have a full 9-to-5 job, you got kids, you got pretty much everything that gets in the way of doing this type of tinkering, it gets hard to schedule something like a recap, but it's gonna have to be done, so maybe I'll make a video out of it. I mean, there's plenty of videos out there, people recapping these things, so I'm not sure if I have anything I can really add, unless I have a cheaper, easier way to do it than most, but we'll tackle that bridge as it comes. So I'm gonna go ahead and close it here. Great game. I used to play it all the time as a kid. pretty sure it might have been on one of my dad's friend's Mac that he had back then, so it could have been on one of these for all I remember. But yeah, that is a great thing right there. Another thing you can do that I recommend doing if you want to keep your date correct. So it is currently 17th of March. Oh, not the 17th month. 3/17/2024. It is currently $11:14 at night. See, I'm doing this before bed on a work night. And there we go. And there's plenty more applications on there. I'm going to go ahead and call it on this because I don't want this thing being on much longer than it needs to be just to make the video. Mainly because I don't want those caps getting any worse. So thank you for watching. I'm hoping that you like these videos. This one was a little bit more niche towards the SE30. I'm going to have something a little different on the next video. Stay tuned.